All right, decidedly the most important game in the ACC concerning the championship of the conference is in Blacksburg, with Virginia Tech looking for a 13th consecutive Commonwealth Cup win over Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall with a forgettable first season in Charlottesville at 2-9. Size up the Hokies hosting the Cavaliers, because even though this has been a lopsided series, there have been some close affairs in there, but the Hokies always find a way.
Yeah, I'm 24 years old. I'm in the second year of a full-time job, and Virginia Tech has not lost to Virginia since I was in the 5th grade. That's the year 2003. So that gives you an idea of the lopsidedness of this rivalry, so to speak. And, this is a game that's obviously being played in Blacksburg. A lot on the line here for Virginia Tech. Obviously, you win this game, you clinch the Coastal Division. You go play Clemson in the ACC Championship, and a rematch of what was the 2011 season when you went to the ACC Championship and, of course, lost a game that I was at when I was a freshman in college. This game is tilted decidedly in Virginia Tech's favor. They're better across all facets of the game, of course, running the football. They've struggled at times this year. It's not going to get any easier with the loss of Marshawn Williams at the running back position for the Hokies. He's a guy that kind of burst on his scene in the 2014 season, you'll remember, before tearing his ACL, missed all of last year after a setback, and then was running the ball pretty well this year and was starting to get a little bit more playing time over the last month or so. But he suffered another knee injury. The severity of it was not really delved into by Justin Fuente, but regardless, Marshawn Williams is missing the rest of the season. So if the Hokies are going to run the football, it's going to be once again through Trayvon McMillan, who, of course, was really dynamic as a freshman in his own right last year, became the first 1,000-yard rusher since 2011 when David Wilson did it. Virginia Tech doesn't have to run the ball extremely well in this game to win, though. Gerard Evans is more than capable of shouldering the load. He's done it all year. Virginia Tech's been a really good offense when they've run the ball well, but because Virginia struggles to put points on the board, I'm not really sure it's going to matter on Saturday if the Hokies don't get the run going. I think they'll be able to throw enough with all the dynamic playmakers they have at receiver, namely Isaiah Ford, who's setting all sorts of records, it seems like, every week at Virginia Tech. He's hovering around 900 yards on the season with 7 touchdown catches. He's been extremely dynamic. Virginia Tech hasn't thrown to Bucky Hodges a ton, it seems like. He's actually on pace to set a career mark in receptions, yards, and touchdowns at Virginia Tech, but you wouldn't know it. More of that's kind of a product of the offense. It's more pass-heavy than it has been in years past. When you look at the share of targets for Bucky Hodges, it has not been nearly as great as it has been for some of the other receivers in the offense. I think this is a great time for Bucky Hodges to get a little bit more involved. He, of course, caught the game-tying touchdown last Saturday in South Bend, a game that I was at against Notre Dame. It was a spectacular game, given how much Notre Dame has struggled this year. But Virginia Tech's offense is really clicking right now. Coming off of a tough game against Georgia Tech, they really were able to bounce back last weekend against Notre Dame after trailing by 17 points in the first quarter. Virginia, look, they've tried to stabilize the offense here the latter part of the season, inserting Matt Johns, the senior quarterback, back into the fold over Kirk Benkert. Johns got his first start of the season last Saturday in a loss. He threw 3 interceptions. He wasn't great, but the offense was moving the ball a lot better under with him under center. I think Virginia will move the ball on Virginia Tech. I'm just not sure they're going to score enough points to cover 18.5 on the road in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech is just a much better team right now. But I think Virginia could potentially find a way to maybe backdoor cover that 18.5 point spread. It'll be an exciting game on Saturday if you're a Virginia Tech fan, just because the Hokies haven't really been this good and this relevant so late in the season in quite some time. So it'll be nice to see a potential Virginia Tech win and get them back in the ACC Championship Game, which, they really were a mainstay in from the mid-2000s on, and they really haven't been able to return to that pace that they kind of set for themselves there in the early to mid-2000s. But now you're starting to see maybe a resilience under Justin Fuente. And for Virginia, look, you don't have a ton to play for at 2-9, but this is a rivalry game, a game you haven't won, like I said, since the 2003 season. So that's more than enough motivation for Virginia to show up. I'm just not really sure they have all the playmakers on offense to really get this thing done on the road in Blacksburg on Saturday.